Okay, with that. Check offline. It's working, bro.
Before I begin singing the Ramayana, I would like to thank Tulsi Books for having invited me here. Tulsi Books has been a very close friend, and we have been quite connected for years together now. And when he stayed with us in Chapati, people just loved him. Especially people loved his dancing. People still remember the way he spins. So I'm grateful to be here amidst all of you all who have been inspired by Tulsi Books. Of course, I had no plan to come to Detroit. I just came to meet Tulsi Books, and Radhika Saki Mataji had nothing else to do in Detroit as such. But it's an honor to be with all of you. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Jai Gopi Jana Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna. Interesting personality and character in the Ramayana, which is Mother Sita. Often not so much spoken about and often understood. So we're going to speak on the character of Mother Sita, and what better place to speak about it than under a cross. The cross signifies sacrifice, and the whole life of Mother Sita is that the entire Ramayana actually revolves around Mother Sita. In fact, the Acharya explained that every kand of the Ramayana is actually about Mother Sita, revolves around Mother Sita. The Bala Kand of the Ramayana is about the marriage of Sita with Ram. The Ayodhya Kand of the Ramayana is about how Sita joins Ram for exile. The Aranya Kand of Ramayana is about how Sita is abducted by Ravana. The Kishkinda Kand is about the search of Sita. The Sundara Kand is about her departure. Therefore, if you study the whole Ramayana centers around Mother Sita. And for some people say that actually Ramayana should not have been Ramayana, it should have been Sitayana. That is the right name of the book. But because Valmiki is a boy, he is a man, he named it as Ramayana. There are some acharyas who say that actually the name should have been Ramayan. Rama is another name of Mother Sita. And therefore, this book kind of centers around the story of Sita. So I'm going to speak about the various aspects of Mother Sita and what we can learn from her, and also about studying with Janak. Of course, she was not really born to him in the regular way. He found her in a field. Janak had a history. His ancestors were, there was a king named King Nimi. And Nimi was a wonderful king. He one time wanted to perform a sacrifice, a yajna. And as Nimi was wanting to perform this, he called his guru Vashishta to officiate the yajna, to perform the yajna. But Vashishta was already having another commitment. He was in fact invited to the heaven at the same time to perform another yajna. So Vashishta chose to go to the heaven, and he didn't come to Nimi's yajna. And because he thought he's my disciple, he will anyway wait for him. From the heavens, Nimi had already called somebody else and the yajna was already over. So Vashishta got really annoyed that his disciple didn't wait for him. So Vashishta cursed Nimi that you will die. So Nimi got angry on Vashishta and he said, what kind of a guru you are? Because you're getting more money in the heaven, you went over there, and you didn't come to my yajna. He said, I also curse you that you will also die. So both guru and disciple both died. And the Brahmanas, when they saw the king also dead, guru also is dead, they got bewildered. They actually offered that they can revive both of them if they just desired to revive. Nimi, he said, I don't want to come back to this body. I'm done with the body. Because what is more important is going back to the spiritual world. So he just said, I don't want another body again. Vashishta, he wanted the body again because he had a service to Lord Ram eventually. So they revived him. And what they did with the body of Nimi is that they churned the body of Nimi, and from the churning of the body of Nimi was born another personality who was known as Mithi Janak. Janak means the one who is born, and Mithi means the one who is born from churning of Nimi's body. So that is how this tradition of having name Janak came in picture. So every king in the dynasty came to be known as Janak only. And Sita's father was called as Shiradwaja Janak. Nimi is a very interesting personality because he actually became the architect of the whole of Mithila, the mindset of Mithila. Every citizen in Mithila after that incident came to be known as Vaideha or Vaidehis. And Mithila came to be known as Vaidehapur. Deha means body, and Vaideha means the one who is not interested in the body, one who is beyond the body. And therefore, every person in Mithila was focused on that consciousness. They are not interested in the body at all. They are thinking beyond the body. And therefore, Sita's name also came to be known as Vaidehi. So, Shiradwaja Janak, one day he was performing a yajna, and a part of the yajna was that he would be tilling the field, and wherever the plow got stuck, he would give charity to the Brahmanas. So the plow got stuck multiple times in different places, he kept giving charity. In one particular place, the plow got stuck so badly that the plow was just not coming out. And Shiradwaja Janak gave huge amounts of charity, still the plow was not coming out. And then he asked them to dig that place. And inside the ground, they found this beautiful golden box. When the Janak opened it, he found Mother Sita inside it. Because she was born at the tip of a plow, she is known as Sita. Sita means tip of the plow. And Sita means the one who is born on the tip of the plow. Because she is born from the earth, she is known as Bhumi Suta. And because she is born in Vaidehapur, she is known as Vaidehi. So, Shiradwaja Janak, he raised Mother Sita to be a very beautiful child with amazing qualities. And when Sita was a small girl, there was one experience that Janak had which really bewildered him. He didn't understand who this girl was. So she was playing with her friends and they were playing with a ball. The ball went below the place where Lord Shiva's bow was. Now Lord Shiva's bow was such a huge bow and it required 5,000 people to just move that bow. Can you imagine? 5,000 people just to move that bow. And Sita ran to that place, picked up the bow with the left hand, picked up the ball and threw the bow back. Now when the soldiers of Janak saw that power, extraordinary power that Sita exhibited, they were completely bewildered. They ran to Janak and they told him, this is what Sita did. Janak made sure that that news never spread to anybody. No one ever came to know about this particular incident. And he made a declaration that anybody who can lift that bow can marry my daughter. And that is when thousands and thousands of people came, tried, failed. It is explained that Sita was so beautiful that anyone who would see her would completely get mesmerized. In fact, all the human beings who would see Mother Sita they would think that why did the creator Brahma create eyes that blinked? Because in that one moment when the eye would close, they would not be able to see Mother Sita's beauty. And the demigods who actually had eyes that never blinked, they complained that why did they only have 2 eyes? The demigods, the eyes don't blink, But they said 2 eyes are not enough to see the beauty of Mother Sita. That is the kind of personality she was. In fact, it is explained that the sun had never seen her. And she was so delicate and so soft that even if a single leaf would fall on her, that section of her body would become red in color. She never ever walked on the ground. She would walk wearing golden sandals. So that is the kind of personality that Sita was. And here was Janak, who had made this whole declaration that whoever lifts the bow can marry Sita. And there were thousands of people coming, very qualified people, but nobody was able to lift the bow. And unfortunately, Janak was not able to tell anybody why he was keeping that condition. Most people in Mithila felt that Janak was a fool. I mean, who would keep a condition so difficult? They just felt, after years and years of such things, they just felt that Janak has just made a wrong decision. His daughter will never ever get married. So there was a whole mood of doubt in Mithila, where everybody was doubting everybody else. And in fact, everybody was doubting the king. And in fact, Janak was doubting himself also, whether I made the right decision or no. Just imagine what was Janak's thought process. He was thinking, if Sita gets married to any random person, some thin guy, and if Sita goes and embraces him, what will happen to that fellow? The kind of power that she has. So Janak actually had all that in mind when he chose that task of lifting the bow. So when Vishwamitra Muni came along with Rama and Lakshman to Mithila, so Janak introduced, of course, all of them to the bow and the condition behind the bows, Sita's marriage and all. And as that word "if" is a very important word in the Ramayana. Now, what does that word "if" indicates? It indicates the doubting mentality of Janak. He doubted everybody, including Ram. So he said, if Ram can lift, means what? He is not sure. In the Christian faith, they have this whole concept of doubting Thomas. In the Vedic scriptures, we have doubting Janak. The same equivalent of that. So, Ram, when he heard about this whole bow and the greatness of the bow, the story behind Lord Shiva's bow, he was very excited to see the bow. In fact, Ram had no plan to come to see the bow, or rather come for the marriage of Sita. Ram originally had come to help Vishwamitra Muni guard the sacrifice, his yajna, and that was done. This was very, very far away from Mithila. But Vishwamitra Muni, one of the main aims for Vishwamitra Muni to get Ram to all this direction was to get him married to Mother Sita. But Vishwamitra Muni didn't want to make it look like match fixing, He didn't want Ram to feel, already he had set and then he is getting me over here. So Vishwamitra Muni made it seem a little more casual and interesting for Ram. After the sacrifice in Siddhashram, where Vishwamitra Muni's ashram was, Vishwamitra just casually told Ram that all of us are going for a bow sacrifice to Mithila, and there Lord Shiva's bow is displayed. Are you interested in seeing Lord Shiva's bow? Now, to inspire a youngster, you need to think. If you want to inspire a youngster to come for a program, you have creative ideas, how to really bring them. Now you tell somebody, Sachin Tendulkar's bat is there. They will leave everything and come there, because that's something exciting for them. For a Kshatriya youngster, telling them that there's a bow of Lord Shiva is exciting enough for them to make that journey. So as soon as Ram heard that the Shiva's bow is displayed over there, he said, I'm interested in coming. And that's how they reached Mithila, basically. So when Janak spoke all this, eventually Ram asks Vishwamitra Muni, can I go and see the bow? Vishwamitra Muni says, please go ahead. So Ram goes to the bow. And as Ram is walking towards the bow, all of Mithila is looking at Ram. They are just mesmerized by the power of Lord Ram. It is explained that when Ram is walking, the residents of Mithila could actually see that in his walk there was a lot of mysticism. He had what is known as Vyagra Gati, the rage of a tiger. He had something known as Simha Gati, the power of a lion. He had Gaja Gati, the majesty of an elephant. He had Sarpa Gati, the latent energy of a snake. So when Ram was walking towards the bow, Rishabha Gati, the pride of a bull, just looking at his walk, the citizens of Ayodhya said, he's going to be able to do it. They had some kind of... So that with that confidence, when Ram walked towards the bow, he looked at the bow, he circumvented the bow 3 times. Then he asked Vishwamitra Muni, can I touch the bow? Vishwamitra said, please go ahead, touch it. Then he touched the bow, and he looked at again Vishwamitra Muni, he said, can I lift the bow? Vishwamitra Muni said, please lift it. Yeah. Can you imagine Ram at every stage is asking for permission from Vishwamitra Muni, from his guru. So finally Vishwamitra Muni told him to lift it. Ram lifted it as easily as an elephant lifts a lotus flower. Absolutely effortless. So when everyone in Mithila saw Ram actually lifting the bow, they were totally bewildered. They couldn't believe their eyes. Ram kept the bow on the ground. He put his one feet on the bow, and then he started stringing the bow. And as he was stringing the bow broke in between. And the sound of the breaking of the bow was so powerful that practically everyone in that hall fainted. They fell unconscious. And that sound of the bow could be heard across the universe. So finally when the bow was broken, Janak was excited beyond imagination, And he said, call Sita. So all the friends of Sita went and brought her. And as Sita came down with a garland in her hand for the Swayamvar to happen, Ram tells Janak, see, I came here with my guru to help him with the sacrifice. I have no idea what this marriage thing is about. He said, I can't marry till my father permits. Now Janak was totally bewildered. First of all, nobody could lift that bow. And there one person who could lift the bow, he's saying, I can't marry her. And now the bow is broken also. So Janak was totally bewildered. And in his confusion, he ran to Vishwamitra Muni and he said, what's going on here? The one person who is qualified to marry Sita, he's saying, I can't marry. So Vishwamitra Muni explained to him. He said, he didn't say he doesn't want to marry. He only said, I can't marry till my father permits. So you just get permission from Dasharath, then marriage can happen. So Janak became a little peaceful. Just imagine this whole thing from Sita's point of view. This is introduction of Sita in the Ramayana. The introduction of Sita in the Ramayana begins with a conclusion. The one person who is qualified to marry her, and she also loved Ram. When she saw Ram the previous evening itself, she had actually given her heart to Ram. And that one person is saying, I don't want to marry. Imagine what's going on in her mind. But Sita, when she heard Ram speaking, she actually decided this is the right person for me to marry. Because Sita thought that a woman requires 3 things in a man to give her life to him. And Sita said, all the 3 things Ram has. Worth marrying him. So though he was saying, I don't want to marry, she was more insistent and more enthusiastic to marry him only. So the first thing that a woman looks in a man, according to Mother Sita, was the ability to protect. So Sita saw Ram's power already. Nobody was able to lift that bow and one. Ram has shown this. The ability to express what is going on in the heart. Ram could clearly word what is going on in his heart properly. They don't clearly express what is going on in the heart. The nature of woman and nature of man is totally different. They are actually on 2 different worlds. For when a man goes through a problem in his life, the way a man deals with a problem in his life is by thinking. Like typically when a husband comes back from office and he has some problem in the office, he starts thinking. So he's quiet and he's sitting and thinking. But the way a woman deals with the problem is not by thinking but by speaking. So she comes and asks the husband, what is the problem? Anything wrong? So the moment a woman asks the husband, is there any problem? That man even becomes even more quiet. Because he's thinking, his ego is making him think that she is thinking I can't solve my own problem. So he thinks even more. So when he thinks even more, she thinks the problem is really serious. So she starts thinking even more, So this complication of, thinking and speaking are two different worlds. So for a woman, one of the most important qualities that she needs in a man is ability to express what is going on in the heart clearly in the form of words. So when Ram said, I cannot marry her till Dasharath permits, in that articulation, in that expression, Sita could clearly see that this person has the ability to express himself. So that is the second qualification that Sita saw in a man. And the third qualification that Sita saw in Ram is, the third thing that a woman needs in a man is self-control, discipline. And Sita saw that wars have been fought over her beauty. There are so many people who have fought wars with her father because they didn't get to marry her. And here is a person who is actually qualified to marry her saying, I don't want to marry. Sita said, this is a person I want to marry actually. And that's the very interesting way in which we see Sita being introduced in the Ramayana. So Sita represents the concept of clear thinking. We find throughout the Ramayana, there are many situations where Sita brings up this mood. We will see that as we continue hearing. So, after Janak sent the messengers to Dasharath Maharaj, Dasharath agreed for the marriage, and Dasharath enthusiastically came all the way from Ayodhya to Mithila. And when Dasharath reached over there, Janak Maharaj asked him, your son has fulfilled the condition for the marriage. He lifted the bow of Lord Shiva. Now tell me what is your condition. My condition is fulfilled. Now tell me what is your condition for the marriage. Dasharath said, I have no conditions. He said, in important relationships of life, relationships cannot be made on conditions. He said, I'm just happy to accept whatever you give. So then eventually Vasishta and Vishwamitra Muni decided that it's not going to be just marriage of Rama and Sita, but it's also the marriage of the other three brothers also. So they gave a suggestion to Dasharath and Janak, and they all enthusiastically agreed. So Lakshmana was supposed to marry Sita's sister Urmila, Bharat was supposed to marry Sita's cousin sister Mandavi, and Shatrughna was supposed to marry Shrutakirti, another cousin of Sita. So the marriage ceremony was taking place, and all the people of Ayodhya and Mithila, thousands and thousands of them had come to gather to see the marriage of Sita and Ram. And when they were seeing the marriage of Sita and Ram, they saw the beauty of Sita and Ram. They were all having discussions among themselves. Some of the citizens were saying that actually Ram should have at least 1,000 eyes to be able to appreciate Sita's beauty properly. Some other people were saying actually Sita needs 1,000 eyes to be able to appreciate Ram's beauty properly. Somebody else said Ram needs 1,000 eyes added every moment because Sita's beauty keeps increasing every moment. So all these citizens are just absorbing the nectar of Ram and Sita's beauty through their eyes. In this world, with time, beauty decreases. But in the spiritual realms, with time, beauty increases. Why do people take so many selfies today? Because they know that what I was yesterday, I'm not going to be tomorrow. They keep taking selfies, just to make sure that at least I preserve something of the past. But the Supreme Lord, he is known as Aparyamrita. Aparyamrita means the one whose beauty keeps increasing. If you observe the deities in any temple in the world, especially if you look at ISKCON temples, the beauty of the deities increases year by year. I mean, I have seen this. I have seen the deities of Radha Gopinath and Chapati, 96. And if you look at the same deities photographs today, you can't believe in the same deities. You just can't believe. The beauty is just increased unlimitedly. And it's not that you've done anything to them. It's not that we painted them or nothing at all. So, when Ram and Sita were standing next to each other and the marriage ceremony was taking place, at that time Janak comes and places the hand of Sita over the hand of Ram. Generally in marriages, the hand of the boy is placed over the hand of the girl. But in Sita's marriage, the hand of Sita is placed over the hand of Ram. Janak indicates that now Ram is under her care. So from the spiritual perspective, Ram represents the Supreme Lord and Sita represents the energy of the Lord and the Eternal Mother. So for a spiritual aspirant, the role of the mother is more important than the role of a father. And therefore, the father sees everything from the point of view of law. But the mother sees everything from the point of view of love. So when Ram looks at anybody, he looks from two eyes. One eye is of the sun, one eye is of the moon. So one eye is of love and one eye is of law. That means you make mistake, you will get punished. But when Sita looks at anybody, both the eyes are of the moon. That means both the eyes of love. Therefore, you find in the Ramayana, throughout the Ramayana, whenever Sita was next to Ram, Ram could not kill a demon. You look at the episode of Kakasur, you look at the episode of Shurpanaka, you look at so many episodes in the Ramayana, wherever Sita is present in front of Lord Ram, he cannot kill a demon. Therefore, many times Ram would take the demon away from Sita and then go and kill that person. Like Virada, he came to kidnap Sita. So Ram, when he killed Virada, he didn't kill in front of her. He took Virada away, very far away, and then from at a distance he killed him. So the mood of Mother Sita is a mood of compassion. And that's the prominent mood of Sita throughout the Ramayana we find. In fact, at the end of the Ramayana, when Mother Sita is Ravana is killed and Hanumanji goes to Mother Sita to give her the news. When Hanuman tells Mother Sita that Ravana is dead, now these 700 demonesses that are there, who have been troubling her like anything, Hanumanji asks her, what do we do with all of them? Should I bite them? Should I beat them? Should I, tear them apart? Should I punch them? Tell me, how should I kill them? Sita tells Hanumanji, forgive them. So Hanumanji gets completely bewildered. He says, 10 months they have been torturing you, and you're telling me forgive them? Sita tells Hanumanji a story. And she tells him a very interesting story. She tells him, there was once a man who was running away from a tiger. And this man ran at a great speed and he reached a tree somehow and he climbed the tree. So just to save himself from the tiger. When he reached the top branch of the tree, he realized that there is a huge monkey over there. There's a big monkey. So he gets scared. Down there is a tiger, on top there is a monkey. Now he doesn't know what to do. So the tiger tells the monkey, throw him down. We both are animals, this is a human being. The monkey tells the tiger, he has taken shelter of my tree, he is my guest. I won't throw him down. The tiger, he's just waiting over there, completely disappointed. The man becomes very happy that the monkey saved me. And then both the monkey and the man go to sleep. In the middle of the night, the man gets up. The tiger calls the man and tells him, see, I just need to eat because I'm hungry. I don't mind eating anything. He said, throw the monkey down, then you go home, I'll also go home. So the man, he feels it's a great idea. He throws the monkey down. And as the monkey is falling down, somehow the monkey catches hold of a branch and comes up again. And the tiger tells him, I told you don't trust human beings. So the tiger tells the monkey, throw this fellow down now. So Sita is telling the story to Hanumanji, who's also a monkey. And then Sita, and the monkey tells the tiger, I am not a human being. I will not throw him down. And then the monkey tells the tiger, once I have given shelter to somebody, I am not going to change my word. Sita narrates this story to Hanumanji to tell him a very important principle of life. She tells him that no matter who you are, and no matter in what situation of life that you are, you shouldn't change your original nature. So she tells him that these demonesses that are there, they have been troubling me, not because they wanted to, but because their master was bad. Ravana has been telling them to do it. If they get a good master, they won't do all the bad things. So there's no point in blaming them. So he said, let's forgive them. If you study the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, the conclusion of the Ramayana and Mahabharata ends with forgiveness. Draupadi, her 5 sons were killed by Ashwatthama. And when Ashwatthama was caught by Arjuna and Bhima, and Krishna asked Draupadi, tell me what we should do with him. Draupadi said, forgive him. And Sita here, same thing. After Ravana is killed, she tells, forgive him. So, it's very interesting. Ramayana and Mahabharata have been fought, the entire war has been fought because one woman has been wronged. In the Mahabharata, 64 crore people killed because Draupadi was insulted. And in the Ramayana, the entire kingdom of Lanka was destroyed because Sita was insulted. But after these 2 women, their insult has been taken care of. The people who insulted them were dealt with. After that, these women, they actually went back to their original nature, which is forgiveness. And that's the most amazing thing according to me of the personality of Mother Sita. Just forgive the 800 demonesses. So, when Janak Maharaj gave Sita's hand over Ram's hand, he was indicating that from now onwards, Ram is under her care. Janak tells a few qualities of Mother Sita to Lord Ram, which are very important and very interesting qualities. The first quality Janak tells to Ram is, she is Ayonija. Ayonija means she is not born from a womb of a mother. She doesn't have a regular birth. So, which means he's telling Ram that you are also not born in an ordinary way. Ram was born from suitors, right? I mean, who gets born from suitors? His birth is not ordinary. So, Janak is telling Ram, don't think that only your birth is not ordinary. Even her birth is not ordinary. So, she is the right match for you. That's why he tells Ram, she is Ayodhya. And then he tells Ram, this is your Sita. It's very interesting why he says this is your Sita, because she's standing there only. Janak understands that Ram is so mesmerized by seeing the beauty of Mother Sita that everywhere he can see Sita only. So he shouldn't put the garland on the wrong person, because he's just seeing Sita everywhere. So he says, this is your Sita. Make sure you put garland on her only. And then Janak also tells Ram, she is Dharmacharini Tava. Dharmacharini Tava means that when you are following the right things, when you are following the path of Dharma, she will follow you. But when you are deviating from the path of Dharma, she will correct you. We find in the Ramayana there are 2 instances where she actually corrects Lord Ram. The first instance is when Ram actually is being exiled, and he gets this news that he is to be sent to the forest for 13 years. Ram comes to Mother Sita and he tells her that I have to go on this exile for 14 years, and you take care of father, you take care of mother, you take care of our brothers. Sita tells him, why are you telling me this? I am coming with you. Ram says, no, you can't come with me. The forest is a very dangerous place. There are no comforts in the forest. Sita tells him, see, for the wife, the company of the husband is the most important thing. And she tells him that husband and wife are like a wheel and a chariot. Chariot and wheel can never be separated. They are always together. She says the husband and wife are like the sun and the sunshine. The sunshine and the sun can never be separated. They are always together. And she tells him that all the relationships, the karma of an individual is individual only. The mother-father relationship with the child. The karma of the child is separate from the karma of the mother and father. They have to enjoy and suffer the karma separately. But the only relationship where the karmas are intertwined is the karma of husband and wife. The karma of a husband also is suffered by the wife and enjoyed by the wife. And the karma of the wife also is enjoyed and suffered by the wife. Not from a literal point of view, from a law of karma point of view, but from the point of view of the effect that comes, because their lives are so connected. So Sita tells Ram that so many years I have experienced all the joys with you. Now I have the right to experience the sorrows with you. So she tells Ram, you have to take me. Ram tells her, you have no idea, you think that forest life is a picnic. There are lions in the forest. The roar of the lions will scare you. In the night, waterfall is so heavy that when the water falls, you will not get sleep only. Sita tells him, let me tell you a story. She tells him a story of her childhood. She says, in my childhood, my father called a lady astrologer. And this lady astrologer made a prediction that I will go to the forest 2 times in my life. She tells Ram, from that day, I have kept my bags packed up. I am ready to go to the forest any day. She tells him, I don't know whether you are going or no, I am surely going to the forest. Now Ram gets really upset with Sita. He tries to push her, he tries to tell her, you don't understand, it's a very scary place. It's very difficult to survive there. Now Sita gets angry. Sita, she makes a statement that really hurts Ram like anything. She tells him, if my father was here, if my father Janak was here, he would have thought that he has married his daughter to a girl who is dressed as a boy. Can you imagine? Ram gets bewildered. Nobody has, insulted him so badly ever in his life. So Ram tells her, okay, you come with me. Just quietly takes her along with him. Sita also understands that she has hurt Ram. But she understands that sometimes you have to hurt a person that you love the most for that person's benefit only. And when she realizes that this one hurt that I have given to Lord Ram, I will have 14 years to take care of this hurt. So 14 years I will, be with him, love him, serve him, and that way slowly I will, remove the impact of the hurt that I have created in his heart today. Another incident when Sita really corrects Ram, Dharmacharini Tava, is when Ram is in the forest with Sita and Lakshman, the Dandakaranya forest, and Ram is roaming around with a bow in his hand. So, the previous day he meets the sages of Dandakaranya. Now, the sages of Dandakaranya have been waiting for a long time for Lord Ram to come. Dandakaranya forest was infected by these demons who have been harassing them like anything. So the sages, they already knew, Gautam Rishi had told them that Ram will come and rescue them. So the sages have been waiting. And these demons were troubling the sages so badly. Some of the sages, they had lost their hand. Some of the sages, they lost their ears. Some of the sages, the demons have come and peel off their skin. So these sages were really troubled by the demons, So the sages have been patiently waiting for Ram to come. So finally when Sita, Rama and Lakshman, they enter into the Dandakaranya forest, it's an amazing scene for the sages. From far, they see Ram, Lakshman and Sita coming in. And you know how they spot Ram coming in? It is explained that Ram's body is greenish golden in color. So here his body's the color is of the combination of Markatamani. Markatamani is a very greenish type of jewel, and molten gold. So when you combine molten gold with the green Markatamani, the combination that results in the color of Lord Ram's body. It's greenish golden color. And when Ram is walking in the forest of Dandakaranya, the effulgence from his body is so intense that practically the trees that are all around him, they become greenish in color. So as Ram is walking, it's like a neon sign, neon light walking, all over this greenish light, radiating. So when the sages saw this green light walking from far, they were completely mesmerized. I mean, Brahma Jyoti is attractive, right? So they were completely mesmerized by the beauty of Ram, and Ram reached in front of them. So when they saw Ram for the first time, they got so mesmerized by Ram's beauty that they forgot all their problems. They wanted to complain a lot to him about how they lost their hand, one lost their ears, and so many things they had to tell. But when they saw Ram, they completely forgot only all their problems. And they started glorifying him. They started worshipping him. They started doing Mangalacharan, glorifying Ram. And as Ram was being glorified, they took him around the ashrams. And in one corner of the ashram, Ram saw a heap of bones. Ram asked them, what is this heap of bones doing in a pure ashram setup? And the sages tell Ram that this is the bones of all those sages who have been killed by the demons. When he sees these bones of so many of the sages, Ram really becomes hurt. And instantly he takes a vow that I will wipe out the Dandakaranya forest from all the demons. So when Ram takes his vow, Sita doesn't like it. I mean, she doesn't like all this killing business, basically. So then, the next day, Sita confronts Ram when they are alone. From Sita, we can learn how to give feedback, how to criticize. So criticism should be done privately, and appreciation should be done publicly. Generally, we do the opposite. We criticize publicly and appreciate, if at all, privately. So Sita, when she looks at Ram, she tells him, "We have come to the forest to become ascetics. We are dressed as ascetics. But if you are leading the life of an ascetic, why are you carrying a bow and arrow in your hand all the time?" She tells him, if you carry the bow and arrow in your hand all the time, you will do wrong things. And then she tells him a story. Sita is a very interesting personality. She tells a story for everything. So every point she makes, she tells a story from the past. So she tells him that there was a sage who was a very powerful sage, and Indra was very disturbed by him. So Indra wanted to, really make him fall down. So Indra went to the sage with a sword in his hand. The sword was a diamond-studded sword, very, very powerful sword. So Indra went to the sage and he said, "My dear sage, I need a help from you." The sage said, "What can I do for you?" He said, "The sword, this is a very special sword. I can't keep it on the ground, but I have to go and answer nature's call. Can you hold this sword for me?" The sage, he said, "Okay, I'll hold it for you. Please come back soon." So Indra went away and he went and hid himself. And the sage had the sword in his hand. He waited for some time. Indra didn't come. So he was looking at the sword. It looked very interesting. He said, "Let me see how it works." He took the sword and hit one log of wood that he had in his house, in his hermitage. As soon as the sword touched the log of wood, it cracked in 2 parts. The sage said, "Wow, this is amazing." So he said, "Let me go out and see." He went out and cut a few trees. And as soon as he hit the tree would collapse, cut into half. The sage was now amazed by the power that he was holding in his hand. So he went and saw a lion, and he cut the lion. The lion was killed. He went and killed an elephant. He went on killing many animals, and eventually he became so intoxicated with the power and control that he had, he went on to become a dacoit. Completely forgetting his focus, completely forgetting his role. And Sita tells this story to Ram and tells him, "You are roaming around with a bow and arrow in your hand. What will happen to you?" Can you imagine? Can you imagine Sita giving him such a straight feedback? And then Ram explains to her. Of course, Ram doesn't get angry on her, what nonsense, what feedback he's giving and all. Ram also is gentle. He explains to her that I may be dressed as an ascetic, but I have not become an ascetic. I have only been told to go on exile for 14 years and be dressed up as an ascetic. He said, "I am a Kshatriya by birth, and the dharma of Kshatriya is to protect." You don't need a position to be a Kshatriya. You don't need some kind of a role or a particular position to actually exhibit the dharma of Kshatriya. I don't need to be a king to be a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is by qualification, by birth. And if I have the ability to protect the innocent people, and if I don't protect and I don't do my dharma of Kshatriya, then I'm actually not doing my duties. And then he explains how the only purpose of his life is to protect the innocent. The only purpose of his life is to serve. And then he tells Mother Sita that these innocent sages, they are dependent on him. And that's how he kind of explains and convinces her about his Kshatriya dharma. Janak Maharaj, he tells Lord Ram another quality of Mother Sita. He tells him that Sita is like a shadow. So the example that he gives of a shadow, he says, shadow is always connected to the feet of a person. But the shadow has 2 very interesting ways in which it manifests in a person's life. So he says, when the sun is in the front, shadow is in the back. But when the sun is in the back, shadow goes in the front. So he says, when the sun of prosperity is in front of your life, Sita will silently follow you. But when the sun sets behind, that means when you go through difficult times in your life, Sita will show you the way. She will lead ahead of you. And that we find prominently in the Ramayana, because, in fact, from another perspective, if you see, actually Sita led Ram to Ravan. Even before Ram went to Ravan, Sita reached there. So Sita kind of paved the way for Ram to come towards Ravan. That's another explanation that the Acharyas give. And also, the other explanation that the Acharyas give is that when when difficulties come in Ram's life, Sita is there to help him deal with the 14 years that Ram spent in the forest. Were traumatic times for Ram because he's been dishonoredly taken away from the kingdom and so many things that he lost. So Sita actually gave him such amazing loving company that Ram never felt that these are 14 years of exile in her company. Ram, when he hears all this from Janak Maharaj, he actually takes a vow at that point of time. He takes a vow of Eka Patni Vrata. So when Ram takes his vow of Eka Patni Vrata, all the women of Ayodhya, the young unmarried girls, become very happy. Because the previous king Dasharath had many wives. And therefore the citizens of Ayodhya, they would marry multiple times. But the new to-be king has only one wife, he has taken Eka Patni Vrata. And naturally all the citizens of Ayodhya will be forced to follow that. So then Ram, he placed his garland on Mother Sita. And Sita was trying to garland on Ram. But Ram was very tall. And Sita could not reach him only. And Sita didn't know what to do. And Ram is not bending down also. So he is not used to bending down. So then Lakshman comes in between. And then Lakshman touches the feet of Lord Ram. So as soon as Lakshman touches the feet of Ram, Ram bends down to pick up Lakshman. And Sita puts the garland on him. And that's how the marriage of Sita and Ram takes place. So it is explained that Ram and Sita, the kind of connection that they had was so amazing that they didn't have to speak words to express things to each other. Just by looks, they could communicate a lot. So when, after about 12 years after their marriage, when Sumantra came to their house to invite Ram to Dasharath and Kaikeyi's palace, this was the day of the coronation. So Sumantra told Ram that father and mother wants to talk to you. So Ram looks at Sita. So Ram and Sita are sitting together at that time. This is just 2-3 hours before the coronation ceremony. So Ram looks at Sita and tells her that whatever mother and father have decided for us is for our good. That's all he does. Sita smiles at Ram and she nods her head. Then Ram gets up, walks out of the palace. And as he is stepping out of the door of his palace, he turns towards Sita, removes the garland from his neck and puts it on the neck of Sita. And he smiles at her. Sita looks at him, smiles at him, and she weaves an imaginary garland around Ram's neck. And she smiles at him. Ram smiles and they leave. So Sumantra is observing this whole smiling thing, So he doesn't understand what's happening. He just feels it is like a husband-wife, private conversation that they are having, some loving exchanges. But actually, the Acharyas explain there is a very deep conversation happening between Ram and Sita here. So when Ram tells Sita that father and mother are going to do something good for us, whatever they do is good for us, he's preparing our mind that whatever comes now, we should think it is good for us. And we should not think that father and mother are enemies or they are thinking bad for us. So Sita smiles, acknowledging that. And Sita, I understand. And then when Ram leaves the palace, he puts his garland around Mother Sita and smiles, indicating that now when I am going from here, I am going as a king of Ayodhya. But when I come back, I will be a beggar. And the only thing that I have to offer you is these forest leaves and flowers. Are you okay with it? Will you still accept me? Sita smiles, looking at Ram, and weaves a garland around her imaginary garland, indicating to Ram that for me, the most valuable wealth, valuable thing is your association, your company. So she said, in your company, even the most insignificant things are most valuable. And in your absence, the most valuable things are insignificant. Now, try to understand this. Here are two people who are trying to communicate with one another without any words. Because their hearts are so strongly connected and bonded that they are able to communicate with one another. But on the other hand, today, we have so many means of communication. So many relationships get broken because of WhatsApp. Over communication. Too much communication. So, the Ramayana talks about how the connections are at a much deeper level. So then they are in the forest for those 14 years. And on the 13th year, when Shurpanakha comes, the golden deer first comes, and then eventually, Shurpanakha first comes, and then eventually Khardushan and 14,000 soldiers come, to attack Rama and Lakshman. So when these Khardushan and 14,000 soldiers come, Ram tells Lakshman, take Sita into a cave. Lakshman is very irritated with Ram because for the last 13 years they have not got to fight at all. They are carrying the bows and arrows, so heavy things, but it's hardly of any use. And here 14,000 soldiers will come over here, good chance for a good fight. Ram is telling him take Sita to the cave. So Lakshman, that day he decides, this is too much. From next incarnation, I don't want to be younger brother. All the time I have to just listen, That's why, next incarnation, I want to be fine, Krishna Balaram becomes older brother. And next incarnation, Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu becomes older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At least they have the flexibility of walking away if they are not interested, So Lakshman anyway takes Sita to the cave and, Ram fights with Kharadushan and 40,000 soldiers single-handedly and destroys all of them. After the whole war, after the whole fight is over, Ram comes and stands with his bow on the ground. It is explained, Ram is now filled with blood, sweat, dust, all kind of bruises all over his body. And he doesn't speak anything. He just stands over there with the bow on the ground, with a stern face, stern look on his face. Sita, when she sees Ram, she comes running towards him, she embraces him, and then she says something very, very interesting. She tells Ram, if my father Janak was here, he would have married you to as many daughters as he had. Can you imagine what Sita is saying? 13 years back, she hurt Ram by one statement. And between Ram and Sita, that statement has stayed for 13 years. It's not that she has forgotten, nor has Ram forgotten it. Because sometimes these words, they just stay in your heart for a long period of time. 13 years later, when Sita found this opportunity, she immediately understood what Ram is trying to tell her. So Ram was just standing over there, telling her that I have the ability to protect you. Killing 14,000 people is not easy, not a joke. He says, see, I have killed 14,000 people to protect you. So Sita understands that without Ram actually speaking that. And then she comes and tells him exactly something that undoes the hurt that she did 13 years back. This is Sita. This is the personality of Sita who has such a sensitivity in dealing, such an amazing understanding of heartfelt feelings. Of course, at a later point in the Ramayana, we find that the golden deer comes into their life. The golden deer indicates many things at many levels. One of the things that golden deer indicates is temptations. So when Valmiki addresses the golden deer, he uses a particular word. He uses the word Abhiram for the golden deer. Abhiram means that which is not Ram. So by saying Abhiram, what Valmiki is actually indicating that if you get attracted to something other than Ram, then Ram walks away from your life. So now this is a very allegorical and very allegorical way of seeing the whole Ramayana, basically. So the golden deer comes into Sita's life. Sita tells Ram, I want the golden deer. So Ram runs to get the golden deer for her. So when she chooses to focus on the temptation, Ram walks away from her life. And as soon as Ram walks away from her life, Ravan enters her life. And Ravan enters as disguised as a saintly person. So what Ramayana is trying to tell us is that when you are focused on temptations, then your ability to discern will go away. So when you are focused on temptation, your ability to discriminate what is right and wrong goes away. So therefore, she chose to see Lakshman as a non-saintly person. She doubted Lakshman's character. She actually chastised Lakshman like anything, doubting his character. And then when Ravan walked in, who was actually a non-saintly person, she considered him to be a saintly person. And that's what the Ramayana is trying to show us. How sometimes when you are focusing on temptations, when you are getting attracted by temptations, you get carried away. Now Sita has three roles in the Ramayana. One is the role of a divine mother. Their compassion, love and kindness, forgiveness, that's the level at which the first role is. The second role of Sita is of a loving wife. There it's a concept of dharmacharini, it's a concept of shadow, it's a concept of companionship, it's a concept of ability to correct when wrong and all that. The third role Sita does is a role of a living entity, just like you and me. In the role of a living entity, there is tendency to be attracted to temptations, and when she's attracted to temptation, there is a tendency to make mistakes. And when there is a tendency to make mistakes, then you have to suffer for the mistakes. That's the third role that Sita does. So all the three roles that Sita does are relevant, but the three layers of the Ramayana. So just because one role exists doesn't mean that the other two roles don't exist. So we have to learn to see Ramayana at multiple layers. And only when you see Ramayana at multiple layers, and only when you see the personality of Sita also at multiple layers, you will actually be able to appreciate the wisdom of this book. So Sita, when she was attracted to the golden deer, Ram went away, then Ravan walked into her life. See, the traditional times, in the Vedic times, the center of every house, there would be an altar of Ram, like Krishna, like that. But today, the center of every house is not Ram and Krishna. The center of every house is television, TV. Every house, and where you find the altar of Ram and Krishna? You find an altar somewhere in the corner, under a staircase, top of a cupboard where you can't keep anything else. That's how people keep the deities, generally, So, of course, in the traditional times, on top of every house there will be a flag, indicating that this house is, the center of the house, the master of the house is the Supreme Lord. But today on top of every house is a dish antenna, indicating the center of every house is the television, And everyone is sitting in front of the television, like literally worshipping the television, And when the television came into our life, how did the television enter? When I'm saying television, I'm also talking about internet. I'm also talking about all kinds of gadgets, which become the center of attraction today. So when it originally came, it came for doing something good for us. Most people who bought the television initially, they wanted to see news, Mahabharata, and things like that. The original understanding. But as soon as television comes and occupies the center stage, then the number of heads expand, number of channels, 100 channels, 200 channels. It's like Ravan. When he came initially, he came disguised as a saintly person. Saints come to do something good for you. And then eventually, his 10 heads came out, And then he showed his demonic form. That's exactly how it is in our lives also. And when Ravan came, he kidnapped her and took her to Lanka. And what does Lanka represent? Lanka represents the material world. And all of us originally have God in the center of our life. And when God went away, demons came in the center of our life. And naturally, Bhakti completely went for a toss. And then we are transported from the association of Lord Ram to the association of Ravan in Lanka. And what did Ravan do in Lanka? Ravan kept Sita surrounded by 700 demonesses who were one-eyed and one-eared monsters. All these demonesses are only one eye and 1 ear. I don't know how Ravan selected these 700 people like that. From where he found, I don't know. He did solid research and got 1 eye, 1 ear people. Can you imagine how dangerous it must be looking for Sita? Somebody looking at you with 1 eye and 1 ear. That's so horrible. And these 700 demonesses, the only thing they were doing from morning to night, were telling Sita for 10 months, Ram doesn't exist, only Ravan exists. Marry Ravan. And that's exactly our situation in the material world. We're all in the material world surrounded by people who are one-eyed and one-eared monsters. The 1 eye and 1 ear indicates the false ego. I and mine. So we are all surrounded by people who are extremely egoistic and they're constantly telling us that God doesn't exist. Only Raman exists. Only pleasure exists. Enjoy in this world, forget that you are from the spiritual world. And in such a situation, Sita was living alone. The only person in the entire Lanka who Sita could connect with was Vibhishan and his wife. So when Vibhishan and his wife, once in a while they would visit her, they would give her hope. Don't worry. Things will be fine. For us, we are all living in an atmosphere like Lanka, Detroit. I'm not too sure how different it is from the situation of Lanka. One-eyed, one-eared monsters, highly egoistic people who try to convince you that God doesn't exist. And in the midst of all that, you have a few devotees who are telling you, don't worry, hey, everyone, hey, God is there, He'll come one day. And then, in the midst of all this, so Sita has a faith that Ram will come someday. In the midst of all this, Ram sends Hanumanji. Hanumanji, so Ram sends Hanumanji with a ring. And that Hanumanji represents the spiritual master who comes once in a while and he gets a ring. The ring represents the mantra, the holy name of the Lord. And he offers it to us, the process of initiation. Spiritual master doesn't come too often, you know. Once in a while they'll fly and come like Hanumanji and then they will disappear suddenly, you know. But when they come and tell us, don't worry, Ram will come. So they are the messengers who can bring the message of Ram here and take the message of our message to the Supreme Lord, like that. And then Sita practiced with that faith that Lord will come. And eventually Ram does come. When Sita meets Hanumanji for the first time, there's a very interesting conversation between Hanuman and Sita, which really brings out the beauty of Hanuman and the beauty of Sita very much. So Sita is almost on the verge of committing suicide. She's completely despondent. For 10 months she's been suffering this intense torture from Ravan. And Ravan once again comes to insult Sita and trouble her like anything. So when Ravan is in front of her, that is when Hanumanji also reaches. But Hanumanji is in a very tiny shape. He's taken a very tiny form and is sitting on top of a tree. And he sees this conversation between Ravan and Sita. So when Ravan comes in front of Sita, Sita takes out a small grass and throws the grass in between her and Ravan. Now the Acharyas explain why Sita throws her grass. So every time Ravan comes in front of her, she throws a grass in between her and Ravan. Multiple reasons. One of the reasons is that it's because of etiquettes. That when some guest comes to your house, you would offer something, a seed, something. She doesn't have anything. So she offers one grass, indicating that I'm offering some seed to you. Though you are a demon, I'm still following the etiquettes of receiving the guest. She also puts that grass to indicate that between a woman and some stranger, in the traditional time they would have this small, parda or veil. She's a queen, and the queen normally people can't just see the queen like that. They would have some kind of a thing that in between. So she's putting that grass to indicate that there is separation between us. She also is telling Ravan that don't think this grass is ordinary. My husband used this grass. For Ram, this grass can become Brahmastra. For Kakasur, this grass became Brahmastra practically. She tells him, be careful. And she also tells him, she's throwing the grass to indicate that when my husband comes, when Ram comes and he kills and destroys your whole army, you will lose everything in Lanka and you will fall flat on your face. The only thing that you will have in your mouth is this piece of grass. And she also tells him that when you lose everything, you will need some grass to build a house. One grass from my side. And she's also indicating that Bali Maharaj, when he offered the 3 steps of land to Vamanadev, he wanted to offer water from a sprout to seal that vow. So when he was trying to offer that water from the sprout, Shukracharya went and hid inside that sprout, not allowing the water to come out. He became a small insect. Because Shukracharya, the guru of Bali Maharaj, didn't want him to offer the 3 steps of land to Vamanadev, because he knew this is Vishnu. So Vamanadev, when he saw that water is not coming out, he did something very interesting. He took a piece of dhruva grass and poked on that sprout, the mouth of the sprout. And when he poked, Shukracharya's one eye got blinded. And from that moment, Shukracharya lost one eye basically. So Sita is telling Ravan, this grass can be used in many ways. It can become Ramastra. You can poke your eyes also. Be careful. So just imagine, one grass she is throwing, and in one grass, so many meanings are coming out from it. And she also means to say that my husband can come out from anywhere. As Lord Nrsimhadev, he came out from a pillar. The same Nrsimhadev can come out from this grass also. Be careful. So this is what Sita is. Just an amazing person. Anyways, so when Ravan had this whole conversation with Mother Sita, so Hanumanji was sitting on top and watching and hearing this whole thing. So when Ravan goes away, Sita gets despondent. She's just fed up of all the constant torture that Ravan is giving her. She decides, let me just end my life. And she uses her hair to strangulate herself and hang her on a tree. That time Hanumanji sees her, that she's trying to end her life. So Hanumanji starts narrating the Ramayana. So he's taken a small shape, he's hiding behind a leaf, And from behind the leaf, he is narrating the Ramayana. As Sita hears the words of the Ramayana, the story of Ram, she actually starts thinking that somebody, some messenger of Ram, somebody connected to Ram is here. So she stops doing what she wanted to do. Hanumanji was hiding behind a leaf and narrating the Ramayana to her. And when Sita was hearing the Ramayana, she became inspired and she was trying to see who is speaking. This is the quality of a good narrator of Ram Katha or Krishna Katha. The narrator keeps himself hidden and keeps the Lord in the front, brings the Lord in the front. But nowadays you find professional reciters of Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad, they keep themselves on the front and they keep Krishna or Ram hiding behind them. So Hanumanji, he just kept himself behind that leaf. And finally when Sita wanted to see him desperately, he jumped in front of her. So finally when Hanuman jumped in front of her, she kind of, just imagine a monkey jumps in front of her suddenly, So she just turned her face away. And much later she asked Hanumanji, did you feel bad? The first time you came in front of me, I turned my face away from you. Hanumanji said, don't worry, mother. What was worth hearing you heard and what was not worth saying you didn't see. So Hanumanji was so humble about it. So Hanumanji tells her, come with me, I will take you back to Ram. Sita is looking at Hanumanji's size. He is so small and he is telling her that come with me, I will take you to Ram. So Sita asks Hanumanji an indirect question. She asks him, are all the monkeys of Lord Ram's army same size as you? I mean, what is Ram going to do with the army of Lilliputs in front of Ravan's huge army? So Hanumanji then shows her the huge size. And when Sita sees Hanumanji's big size, Sita gets confused. She asks Hanumanji another question. She tells him, what is your original size? Are you small? Are you big? Are you medium size? What's your original size? She asks him. And Hanumanji gives a very interesting answer. Hanumanji tells her, my original size is that I am small and insignificant. But for the mission of Lord Ram, I can take any size. That size indicates responsibility. So this is the understanding of what humility is, really. For most devotees, humility means I am useless, I can't do anything. So most devotees just don't understand the concept of humility. You tell them to do some seva, take some responsibility, they say, Prabhuji, I am useless. I am an insignificant person who lower the woman's stool, Few dialogues we know. And in the process, we don't take up any responsibility. But look at what Hanuman is saying. Hanuman is saying, I am actually originally small. That means he understands that he is insignificant. But he also understands that the Lord can empower me to do anything in life. And that's the mood in which Hanumanji presents to Mother Sita. So Sita tells Hanumanji that I will give you 30 days time. Tell Lord Ram that within 30 days he has to come here and rescue me, otherwise I'll die. She gives him an ultimatum. So just see, Ramayana is such a climax, it's such an amazing concept. So 30 days countdown begins that moment. So Hanumanji now is desperate. So he burns Lanka and all that stuff he does in 1.5 days and returns back to the monkey army. So the monkeys take another 1.5 days to reach back to Kishkinda from all the way from the southern tip of the ocean. So 3 days is over from the time Sita has given this warning. So then they tell the whole news to Lord Ram. So Ram says, let's go to the south. Then the whole monkey army now moves to the south. It takes them 12 days. So it took them 3 days to reach up. It takes them 12 days to reach down. So 15 days are over. After 15 days, Ram reaches the southern tip of the ocean, Rameshwaram, and there he actually starts praying to the ocean god for permission to cross. This fellow doesn't understand the importance of the time countdown and all. The ocean god is not coming out only. So after 3 days, Ram loses patience. He says, hell with all the rules and regulations. If you follow rules and regulations too much, nothing works in this world. This is the only time Ram actually thinks like that. Krishna always thinks like that. For Krishna, he doesn't care too much rules and regulations. Ram thinks too much. So then he removes his bow and arrow. He wants to dry up the ocean, and the ocean god comes out and says, sorry. Then he gives permission. So by this time, 15 days are over plus 3 days. So it's 18 days. Then the building of the bridge starts. They build an 800-mile long and an 80-mile wide bridge in 5 days. Can you imagine? The best of the construction companies today, L&T or whatever, they can't beat this. So they build the whole 800-mile bridge in 5 days flat. So it's now 5 days plus 18, it's 23 days. And Ram-Ravan war, the entire war of Lanka, lasts exactly for 7 days. On the 7th day, Ram kills Ravan. And then Hanumanji comes to Sita and tells her that Ravan is dead, you come with us. The day Ravan dies, the 30th day, where Sita has given that warning, that day marks the end of the 14th year of the exile of Ram. And the climax doesn't get over there. Bharata has taken a vow that if Ram doesn't reach on the last day of the 14th year, he will commit suicide. So now Sita is saved, Ram has to save Bharat now. So therefore Ram borrows a Pushpak Viman from Vibhishan. And then they travel towards Ayodhya in the plain. And as Ram and Lakshman, Lakshman, Sita and all the monkeys are going towards Ayodhya, Ram shows all the different spots to Mother Sita, what happened after she was kidnapped. And then when Sita sees Kishkinda, she says, all the monkeys are here, but all the monkey women are not there. Unless the monkey women come, I won't go to Ayodhya. So Ram tells her, women take a long time to dress up. Human women. I don't know how much time monkey women are going to take. She tells her, it's too risky, Bharat will die. Sita says, nothing doing. Without the women, we won't go. And then the whole army, the Pushpa Viman comes down, and all the monkey women get in, and then they go towards Ayodhya. And finally, they reach Ayodhya, and Ram meets Bharat, and then the coronation ceremony takes place in Ayodhya. So during the coronation ceremony, this is the last thing I'll tell. Something very interesting happens. During the coronation ceremony of Ram and Sita, Sita is sitting on the throne along with Lord Ram. And as Sita is on the throne, celebrations are taking place. Music, dance, festivities, all kinds of colors are being thrown in the air. Suddenly Sita starts crying. She has tears in her eyes. Ram looks at Sita and asks her, why are you crying? Such an auspicious moment and so much happiness, why are you crying? Sita tells him that as the celebrations are going on, somebody threw red color in the air. She tells him that when I was kidnapped by Ravan, Jatayu came to try to save me. And Ravan cut off the wings of Jatayu, and the red blood of Jatayu splashed all over the air. So she said, when I saw the red color being thrown, I remembered Jatayu's sacrifice for me. And she started crying out of gratitude for Jatayu's sacrifice. Can you imagine what kind of personality is Sita? During the peak of her success, during the most joyous moments of her life, when people generally, when they are happy, they don't think about others. They're only absorbed in their own happiness and their own joys. At that time, she is remembering the sacrifice of somebody. Apparently, Jatayu's sacrifice was not even valuable for her. He didn't save her. But what Jatayu did was something that Sita was always grateful for. So during the most important time of her life, she remembered to be grateful to all those people who were responsible for her reaching this situation. And that's Mother Sita. So Mother Sita is one of the most amazing personalities in the Ramayana. If you understand her in this way, some of the things that I spoke about Mother Sita today, hopefully some of this will have helped you understand Mother Sita in a much more better context. And our love and appreciation and gratitude for Mother Sita will be much more. And as I said, she is the universal mother, and only through the mother we can approach the father very well. Therefore, we always chant Sita Ram. We never chant Ram Sita. We always chant Radha Krishna. We don't chant Krishna Radha. We always chant Lakshmi Narayan. We don't chant Narayan Lakshmi. Because the energy is always before the energetic. And so that's a mood of worshipping Mother Sita. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Comments? Yes.
Thank you very much for explaining the position of Mother Sita comparing to our lives. You were explaining about how Mother Sita heard Lord Rama, and then how she under basically what she had spoken earlier. In a practical life, personally we do the same kind of things, but the tenure of that gap, whatever happens, we may completely break the relationship. So how to rectify that tenure to come very small, so that
See, my understanding of relationship is like this. Of course, today I didn't speak anything about relationships. Someday we can speak only relationships, I can tell more details. But in essence, it's like this. Relationships is like a bank account. Just like we have regular bank accounts, you make withdrawals and make deposits. So in a regular bank account, when you make a withdrawal, you take $1,000 out. When you deposit $1,000, it becomes equal. But in a relationship bank account, if you withdraw $1,000, you have to deposit $10,000 back to make it equal. So Sita, she put that last one thing. But before that, 14 years she has been depositing many times. You understand? Then that last one thing made all the difference. But unfortunately, we do it only once. And we think it will make a difference. It won't. That's the answer.
Thank you.
Anything else? Very grateful to all of you all for your patient listening and being honor and pleasure serving all of you all. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.